The world of professional wrestling witnessed an earth-shattering moment on May 25, 2025. NXT Battleground, a WWE premium live event, became the unlikely stage for a historic first. Trick Williams, a talent under contract with World Wrestling Entertainment, achieved the unthinkable. He challenged for, and ultimately won, the TNA World Championship. This was not merely a crossover appearance. This was a direct challenge for a rival promotion's top prize on WWE's own turf. The implications of this event are vast, sending ripples across the entire industry. For years, the concept of a forbidden door between major wrestling promotions has been a tantalizing prospect. Fans have long dreamed of seeing champions from different companies clash. While interpromotional matches have occurred, a WE-contracted star winning a major world title from another prominent North American promotion like TNA was previously unimaginable. The air was thick with anticipation as Trick Williams prepared to step into the ring against TNA's standard-bearer, Joe Hendry. This was more than just a match, it was a statement. The significance of this championship victory cannot be overstated. It signals a potential shift in the landscape of professional wrestling. NXT Battleground, held in Tampa, Florida, was already shaping up to be a significant event for WWE's developmental brand. The card featured several high-stakes championship matches, showcasing the future stars of the company. However, the inclusion of the TNA World Championship match elevated the show to an entirely new level of intrigue. The main event slot was reserved for this interpromotional spectacle, a clear indication of its perceived importance by both WWE and TNA officials. The anticipation was palpable, not just within the arena, but across the global wrestling community following online. The decision to host such a groundbreaking match on an NXT show, rather than a main roster WWE pay-per-view, was a strategic one. NXT has often been the brand more willing to experiment and push boundaries. It provided a fitting backdrop for an event that defied conventional wrestling politics. The Tampa crowd was buzzing, aware that they were about to witness a piece of wrestling history unfold before their very eyes. The unique blend of NXT's passionate fan base and the gravity of the TNA World title being defended created an unforgettable atmosphere throughout the night. Trick Williams, known for his charisma and athletic prowess, had been a rising star within the NXT ranks. His journey to this TNA World Championship opportunity was somewhat unexpected, yet it quickly became one of intense focus. Williams, often associated with his "whoop that trick" catchphrase and undeniable swagger, found himself in a unique position. He was chosen to represent WWE in this historic interpromotional encounter, a testament to the faith the company had in his abilities to perform on such a significant stage. The pressure on his shoulders was immense. Weeks of heated altercations on both TNA and WWE programming had fueled the rivalry between Williams and the TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry. These confrontations transcended brand lines, with each man invading the other's territory to make a statement. This cross-promotional storyline was a key factor in generating the immense buzz surrounding the Battleground main event. Joe Hendry, the TNA World Champion, entered NXT Battleground as a man on a mission. Known for his "I Believe" mantra and his undeniable connection with the TNA faithful, Hendry was more than just a champion, he was an ambassador for his promotion. Defending the TNA World Championship on WWE soil was a monumental task, but Hendry carried himself with the confidence and determination befitting his status. He was not just fighting for himself, he was fighting to uphold the honor and prestige of total nonstop action wrestling. Hendry's reign as TNA World Champion had been characterized by resilience and a fighting spirit. He had successfully defended his title against numerous challengers, solidifying his position as the top star in TNA. His charisma, in-ring ability, and catchy entrance music had made him a beloved figure. Now, he faced perhaps his most unusual and high-profile challenge yet, against a WWE-contracted talent in Trick Williams. As the time for the main event drew near, the atmosphere inside the Tampa arena was electric. This wasn't just another wrestling match, it was a symbolic clash between two distinct wrestling philosophies and fan bases. The sight of the TNA World Championship belt being presented in a WWE ring was surreal for many longtime followers of the sport. It represented a breaking down of barriers, a willingness to engage in a way that few thought possible. The stakes were incredibly high, with bragging rights and historical significance on the line. TNA President Carlos Silva was notably present, seated at ringside to witness the historic encounter. His presence underscored the importance of this match for TNA wrestling. Silva's stoic demeanor added to the gravity of the situation, his expression unreadable as he watched the two competitors prepare for battle. The pre-match fan polls and online discussions reflected the divided opinions and heightened anticipation. The match between Trick Williams and Joe Hendry began with an intensity befitting its historic nature. Both men were clearly aware of the magnitude of the moment, and they fought with a sense of urgency and purpose. The early exchanges were a feeling-out process, with each competitor trying to gain an advantage. Hendry showcased his power and technical prowess, while Williams relied on his agility and unorthodox offense. The crowd was deeply invested, reacting to every move and counter, their cheers echoing throughout the arena. As the contest progressed, the action escalated significantly. There were numerous near falls that had the audience on the edge of their seats. Joe Hendry executed some of his signature maneuvers, including a powerful fall-away slam and an impressive Fosbury flop to the outside, demonstrating why he was the TNA World Champion. Trick Williams, not to be outdone, fired back with his own arsenal of high-impact moves, constantly looking for an opening to hit his devastating finisher. The back-and-forth nature of the bout kept everyone guessing who would ultimately prevail. The physicality of the match was undeniable. The climax of the TNA World Championship match at NXT Battleground was not without its share of controversy. As the grueling battle wore on, and both Trick Williams and Joe Hendry were pushed to their limits, desperation began to set in. In a pivotal moment that would ultimately decide the outcome, Trick Williams made a calculated, albeit illicit, move. He introduced the physical TNA World Championship belt into the ring, not as a symbol of triumph, but as an instrument to gain an unfair advantage over his opponent. As Joe Hendry attempted a maneuver, he was sent crashing face-first onto the strategically placed championship belt, following a flapjack from Williams. The impact was significant, momentarily dazing the TNA champion and leaving him vulnerable. Capitalizing on Hendry's compromised state, Trick Williams wasted no time in pressing his advantage. He quickly hoisted the dazed champion and delivered his signature finishing move, the trick shot knee strike. The referee made the 3 count, signaling the end of the match and the crowning of a new and highly controversial TNA World Champion. The referee's hand hit the mat for the 3rd and final time. The arena erupted. Trick Williams had done it. He had defeated Joe Hendry. He was the new TNA World Champion. The announcement sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. For the first time ever, an active WWE contracted talent held a major TNA championship. Williams himself appeared ecstatic, celebrating his monumental victory as the NXT crowd roared its approval, caught up in the historic moment, regardless of the controversial means by which it was achieved. As Trick Williams celebrated in the ring, the camera focused on TNA President Carlos Silva, who was still seated at ringside. His reaction was one of clear and visible displeasure. There was no attempt to hide his disappointment and perhaps even anger at the outcome. Silva's stony expression spoke volumes. The victory of Trick Williams at NXT Battleground 2025 immediately ushered in a new and uncertain era for both WWE and TNA wrestling. With a WWE contracted talent now holding the TNA World Championship, the dynamics between the two promotions have been fundamentally changed. This historic win raises numerous questions about the future. How will TNA respond to their top title being held by an outsider? Will Trick Williams defend the TNA Championship on TNA programming, WWE programming, or both? The possibilities are as intriguing as they are complex. The displeasure of TNA President Carlos Silva is a significant factor in the unfolding narrative. His visible frustration suggests that TNA will not take this lightly. Retaliation, challenges, and attempts to reclaim the championship are almost certain to follow. This could lead to further crossover events, invasions, and a prolonged interpromotional rivalry that could captivate wrestling fans for months to come. The controversial nature of Williams's victory using the title belt as a weapon provides TNA with legitimate grounds for demanding rematches or even protesting the result. For WWE and NXT, this victory is a major coup.